Matches Balone.
Hey, what is up guys? Matches Balone here, bringing guys another DC Toy Box TV review. Today we're going to be looking at the DC Collectibles Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice Batman statue. Okay, so that was a mouthful. So I got something super special for you guys today. This is the DC Collectibles statue, and as you can see, this is a really big box. It doesn't fit in my regular review station, so I am using a bigger space, and hopefully I can capture the review as best as I can. So before we get into the statue review, I do want to go over the packaging. As you can see, this is your kind of traditional DC Collectibles packaging where you get this kind of preview image of your item, and then it has this really cool kind of peel design. Now, I'm trying to see if I can get it. There is a lot of glare just because this is a glossy box, but right here in the corner, there is the old school DC Collectibles peel logo, and so that's what this kind of like peel design is supposed to mimic. Like I said, here is a preview image of the statue. You can already see just how cool it is. So yeah, I'm trying to put it so where the light isn't gonna hit it too much. I'm gonna lift it just a little bit so you can see that right here on the bottom, we do get a Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice logo, as well as Batman written across the bottom. If we pull it to the side, we do get a little bit of another full image preview of the statue itself. I'm going to lift it just a little bit so you guys can kind of see that. Again, I apologize for the light. There's a light in the back, so, you know, the glossy box is not helping at all. Up here on top, written across, are just a couple of measurement details, and we also get a sculptor written across the bottom as well, and we get another DC Collectibles logo right there. In the back, we pretty much just get some, I guess, portrait images of the other statues in the toy or in the figure line. Up here, it is the same Batman statue that we have right now. We have Collect Them All written across the middle, and then we get a preview image of the Superman statue, Wonder Woman statue, and the armored Batman statue right there. Then again, in the bottom, we do get another DC Comics logo right there this time. On the other side, again, kind of continuing with that peel design, we do have a blue background, but it is pretty much just a zoom in image of the same statue right there. And then on top, we do get some sculpting information as well. So that looks really cool. Again, I apologize for the light. It's just a really glossy box, so I can't do much of that. Up top, it's just the Dawn of Justice logo right there. Looks really cool, nice and bold. And then on the bottom, it is pretty much just a white bottom with a barcode right there in the center. But yeah, that is pretty much it for the packaging, guys. Again, sorry for the lights. That's pretty much it for the packaging, guys. We are gonna get this Batman statue out of his box and we can check him out. Okay guys, here we have the statue out of his box. Now this is, I gotta say, it's just really cool taking him out of his box. You could already see just how awesome the statue is. Now the box does have a warning sign to please carefully take it out because you could damage it. So just keep that in mind when you take him out of the box. And when you take him out, it does come in two separate pieces. The base is actually separate from the statue itself. So I'm gonna actually remove him right now for a second just to kind of show you it. We'll put him right here to the side. So as you can see, this is pretty much the Dawn of Justice logo. It looks really cool. It's the Superman emblem on top of the Batman emblem. And it's pretty much just a solid black throughout. There is a little bit of yellow and red within the S emblem, so that looks really cool. What I like is that this kind of looks like just a piece of like concrete cement, but it's like damaged throughout, so that looks really cool. It is, you know, like I believe it's a solid piece of polystone, so you know, there is girth to it, so that's really good. You want a very steady foundation for your figure. And you can see right there, this is the little peg hole where you're just gonna place Batman on top of it. And we'll put it right here. And that's pretty much it. Now I gotta say, one of the gripes I have with this figure so far is the fact that when he's on the base, it's not a kind of like steady, secure. You could lift him up, and it does a pretty good job of lifting up the base, but it's not, you know, kind of tightly in that little socket. So just keep that in mind wherever you put him, and when you're going to transfer him, make sure to also hold the base underneath, because you might accidentally drop it and end up breaking the little, you know, the little base. Aside from them, I gotta say that the Batman statue just looks freaking awesome. You know, this is my first statue, guys, so I apologize if it's not the best statue review, but I gotta say, just looking at him, he looks great. You know, the body and the mold of the figure, the sculpt, looks very muscular, just like how Ben Affleck looked in the film. So that looks really good. So as you can see, the body is very muscular. You know, I like how they kind of sculpted in the mesh of its clove, as well as these kind of like seam lines. It looks really good. I like the giant bat emblem right here. It just looks really awesome. I'm trying to get you guys a better view. I'm so sorry. Like I said, this is my first statue review, so please hang in there with me. But yeah, overall, the actual mold and the sculpt of it just looks really awesome. I think it's highly detailed. What I like is that it also has bright colors. Even though Batman tends to be more on the darker side, I like that the gray is an actual gray, and it's a very defined and clear contrast between the black of his emblem or the black of the cape and cowl. So that looks really good. I like that they also went in and properly painted the utility belt, where it is a gold utility belt, but it does have that black accent throughout. So I like that a lot. And I'm trying to see if I can kind of rotate this in a way, but okay, here we go. So the gauntlet itself, let me see if I can focus this just a little better. The gauntlet itself also looks really cool. Let me move this cape. We'll talk about the cape in a second, guys. But you can see that they also has the gold tips right here on his knuckles, as well on his fins. And then even though this is supposed to be just another black, I like how it's a little washed, and so it looks kind of like a little, I want to say dirty. It has like a little bit of gray on top of it, so that looks really cool. And there is more detailing within the gauntlet itself, you know. And like, I wish I could get the camera even closer for you guys to see it, but you know, like I said, this is my first review, so I'm trying to do the best that I can. But like, there's just so much detail within this figure. It just like, it's insane how much time and effort they put into this guy. He just looks really awesome. So I'm gonna rotate him to the front, and I wanna try to elevate this guy so you kind of take a look at the boot. And the boot has the same kind of, you know, design of the gauntlets, where it does have that gold tip accent. You know, a lot of times, a lot of these figures and statues forget all the gold tip. So I really like that DC Collectibles took their time to really detail this and just make it screen accurate as possible. Now I'm going to rotate this to the back. There's not much to see here, just that, you know, again, it is highly detailed throughout the whole figure. Like, they didn't like skimp on the back. You see the same kind of like muscular design, as well as the, you know, just the detailing of the suit. What's really interesting is it did leave the back of the belt empty, and I wonder if that is screen accurate. You know, that's always a big debate between fans, if he has, you know, capsules and pouches throughout his whole belt. So that looks really cool. But like, they took their time, and you're gonna get a really awesome statue out of this, you know. So if you're gonna buy it, you know, you don't have to worry that you're kind of getting, you know, a cheap figure, if you will. So another thing I want to, well, let's talk about the cape, right? Because you see me as I kind of move it throughout the whole thing. So the cape, as you saw that I kept moving it around, this is more, it's not a proper cloth cape. It's kind of like of a mesh material. If you guys ever had like a raincoat, it's almost the same kind of like texture. And it's really cool. It does have these kind of like lining within the cape itself. There are 2 wires at the very tip and edge of the cape, so it does help you kind of give it a little bit of a mold, a little bit of a design. You know, here, this last one, that's the wire. So you could theoretically, you know, put your cape in a different design, if you will. It is a very heavy cape, so it does kind of want to fall on its own. You're not going to be able to kind of lift him up as much. So you already saw I'm trying to keep it up like if he's falling down, but it just wants to fall down on its own. Um, Personally, I'm not a fan of this cape. I would have rather had a, proper sculpt and molded cape on top. My sister, she kind of likes it because it kind of gives it a little more of a style and you can kind of make it unique to yourself. So, there are pros and cons to it, and it really is more of a personal style, whether you like this cape or not. But overall, I think it's okay. Like I said, I would have preferred a proper molded cape just so it wouldn't bug me. I personally put my cape in the back just because I want to kind of like showcase the really cool body that this statue has. Sorry, I keep saying it's a figure. So keep that in mind. If you kind of want to have your Batman a little more covered, a little more in the shadow, you could put his cape over it. It's not going to fully cover his body. It kind of just drapes over his shoulders as so. But even that, it looks really good. So that's awesome. But yeah, let me just put this cape just back a little bit. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is the actual face sculpt. But you can see, personally, I feel like it doesn't look too much like Ben Affleck. I think it's a good representation of it. It's a very decent job at it. But I don't think it's 100%, just like the actor. But it's still a good face sculpt, And the thing is, he's primarily covered with the Batman mask, so it doesn't really matter if he looks like the actor. I just really like the head sculpt, but it does come, I think a personal decision on whether or not he looks just like the actor, But still, looks really great. Now that I have it up close, I will kind of go in and kind of just show you just a little more of the detailing within the statue. Again, I'm using a new camera, guys. I actually just upgraded to a proper DSLR camera. So, I'm trying to get you guys a better shot of the statue itself. Just a really cool statue throughout. You can see right there kind of like the detail and the molding of the boots. It's just so cool. Like I said, this is my first statue. So if I'm not doing the best review, I apologize. But please comment down below with any tips and suggestions on how I can better represent this. Better look right there. Okay guys, there you have it. That is my Batman statue review. Like I said throughout the whole review, this is my first statue review. So if you guys have any tips and suggestions on how I can improve them for you, I will greatly appreciate it. Also comment down below with any of your guys' thoughts and opinions on this. Have you guys already picked up this statue review? Are you guys a fan of the DC Collectible statue lines? Personally, I highly recommend this to all of the Batman fans out there. If you guys are Dawn of Justice fans or just Ben Affleck Batman fans in general, this is a really great piece to have in your collection. Aside from that, there's nothing much more I can say other than like the video, you guys like it, dislike it if you didn't, and subscribe and look forward to more videos, guys. Thanks. Laters.